Hi, so this is the Wichenford 8 and we're going to put it up today and I'll just show you how we do it. So when you get your tent, obviously you want to get it out of the bag. We've got the pegs here and we should have a bag with all the poles in as well. That's probably wrapped up inside the canvas. So when we roll the tent out, you should have a big bag of poles here. And what you want to do is get those out. Okay, so then you want to roll your tent out to the position that you want it to be. And this is quite a big tent, so it's an 8-person tent. So a lot of room in it, a lot of room in the living area and the bedrooms. And it's got bedrooms on one side and then bedrooms on the other as well, so you can separate adults from children. That's sometimes beneficial. Okay, so when you've got it in a position you like, you want to peg the 4 corners to keep it from blowing away. I'll peg the other side first because the wind's blowing that way and it'll stop it from blowing over. So you should have webbing straps on the corners. They're adjustable. You want to peg those 4 corners. Okay, so when we've got the 4 corners pegged, it shouldn't move anywhere. And now we're going to move on to the poles. So on this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poles for the main structure, and then a couple of poles just to go on the canopies on the doors. So what you want to do is you want to get the main poles and put them together with the fiberglass pole going in the metal ferrules, and then line them up to where they're going to go. So this one's going to go here. And you should have an extra pole as well. So we do give extra poles, 1 extra pole in here. So you should have 1 spare at the end that you don't need, just in case you ever need it for a repair. There you go, and I think that'll be the extra one there, we're not going to need. So we'll put that to one side, out of the way. And we got a little canopy pole that's going to go over the door, and we'll put that in after we've got all the other poles in. So I would always start where the door is because it's easier to lift it. So I would open the door, make sure you can get plenty of air in the tent. Otherwise it's going to be really hard to lift it up with the poles. So open the door and the mesh. And then get a bit of air in it, like so. And that'll just make it easier to lift it up in a moment. So we're going to lift up the 2 middle ones first, this one and this one. So we're going to start feeding the pole through the pole sleeve. Should go through pretty easy, not too long, the pole sleeves. and it will need to be pushed quite a bit further than the tent itself, because they are a lot longer, the poles, than the tent, because they're obviously bending. So that's the first one. And then I'll put the second one in as well. And then we'll lift them one at a time. And then we can go along putting the rest in afterwards. So those two are ready to go now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the pin on the ring and pin which is on the tent at the bottom, into the metal ferrule on the pole at the back end. There we go. And we'll do this one as well. Put that in, ring and pin on this one as well. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with this one. And what you want to do is slowly lift the material while pushing the pole through the sleeve. As you're pushing the pole through the sleeve, lift the material until you can get to a point where you can put the bottom of the pole on the ground like so. And then look, you can slowly move it up. There we go. And then find the ring and pin. I'm just holding it with my foot at the bottom of the pole. Put it in the ring and pin there. That's that one done. And then the same again with the one next to it. Again, this should still be in the ring and pin at the other side. I just did it earlier. And then again, when you can get this pole onto the ground, it will hold itself, and you can pull the canvas over. And you should have a ring and pin in line with the pole. There we go. So those two are in now, and you have the pole clips to clip on. Clip that one on there. You should have another one. Like so. And then I'll do the ones on the back just to secure it. Okay, so now we're going to go along and put all the other poles in. You want to start next to the ones you've already got up. The good thing about the Wichenford is that all the poles are the same length as well, so it's got the same height throughout, so it's the same head height. It doesn't drop at all. Some tents drop when they get to the bedrooms, so you're crouching down, but the Wichenford's same height throughout. I'll just peg the back pole clips. And we got one more on this side to do. And then that's all the poles, the main structure. Now we just got to put the little canopy pole that's over the door we had here earlier. Now there is a sleeve at the top of the canopy. This pole just to slide through, and then on each side there's a little plastic cup to the end of the pole to sit in. So it'll go in this side here, and then just push it through, and it gives it some tension, and obviously gives it a bit of protection from the rain over the door. So then at this point, what you need to do is go around and peg every other point where the ring and pins are, and also the guidelines here. So there'll be guidelines on each pole, and also on the end and on the vents. And you want to peg all these out, make sure they're nice and secure. And how you do this is you adjust it with the runner here, but you want to be about a metre away from the tent, like so. And it wants to be like that, so it's fixed at the top and to the middle of the tent. Yeah, peg it. Get a peg. And then about a metre away, put the peg in at a 45-degree angle. There we go. And you want to go around doing all that all the way along on every point, so the guidelines are pulling against each other. And then you would put your inner tents in as well, what you're sleeping in the tent. But that's how to put up the Wichenford 8.